top stories, Trimart Supermarkets are up for sale. Mary Redman insists the teacher was not the aggressor in the highly publicized Ellerslie altercation, and Paradise topped the Digicel Premier League. Welcome to Nation News for Friday, April 22nd, 2016. I'm Natasha Beckles. Trinidadian conglomerate Chancelor has announced plans to sell the Trimart chain of supermarkets. President and CEO of Chancelor Barbados, Nicholas Moutet, said one of the factors that led to the decision was difficulty in constructing a new flagship store at Wildy. He said the group determined that without a flagship, Trimart could not compete effectively. In addition, he said food retailing is not a core part of the group and they would therefore be focusing on other local investments. The 3 stores at Rendezvous, St. Martin's and Mile and a Quarter will be sold as a going concern, either as a chain or individually. In the meantime, business continues as usual. President of the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, Mary Redman, has sought to set the record straight concerning the recent altercation between an Ellerslie Secondary School student and a teacher. The female teacher was allegedly punched, kicked and spat on by a third-form girl. Addressing an emergency meeting of the union's members on Friday, Ms. Redman said contrary to what was being reported, there was no history of conflict between the two. Ms. Redman also dismissed suggestions that the teacher was the aggressor and that the child had made numerous complaints about her.
Contrary to what the mother has written and said and the newspapers have written, without any investigation, there are no, and I repeat, no reports from the student or her mother, written or verbal, that have been made to either the year head or the principal by the student or the mother on that teacher. The mother said there were 3.
Imagine.
The mother said there were 3. The year head, on the contrary, has reported that he has had to speak to the mother on a number of occasions about the child's behavior.
The Barbados Union of Teachers also held a meeting with their members, but that was closed to the media. A press briefing was expected to be held after. And in reacting to the union's meetings, which caused schools to be closed early, Minister of Finance Chancelor said he hoped the issues would be speedily resolved. He was speaking after he visited 3 primary schools in his constituency to give his annual pre-11 plus pep talks. At St. Stephen's, Deacons and Eagle Hall primary schools, student attendance was low.
We as parents, we as members of the government, of course, would hope that whatever it is, that it is resolved and that we do not have these unintended or otherwise disruptions to the school program, because we are in the critical 3rd term. There are promotional exams that have to be gone through for students who are moving on to the next level. There is, of course, the 11 plus exam, and there are other things that schools have to get through as they move through to this final term before the long summer holidays. So our hope is that, certainly my hope is that whatever it is, whatever the bother is or the issue is, and that those will be very quickly resolved, or if not settled down to the extent that we won't have a disruption similar to what we've had here.
Law enforcement officers, members of the legal fraternity, family and friends have said goodbye to Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police Livingston Eversley. The 58-year-old was remembered fondly during a funeral service at the Western Light Church of the Nazarene before he was interred at St. Jude's Anglican Church on Friday. Mr. Eversley died suddenly on April 11th after complaining of feeling unwell. Vice-Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, has warned that Barbadian society in its current structure is not sustainable. Delivering the 31st Elsa Govia Memorial Lecture to a packed audience, he criticized the divide in which blacks control politics while the white elite controls the economy. Sir Hilary said this was not conducive to democracy.
The Barbados society in its current structure is not sustainable. This social structure of white supremacy and black marginalization in the economy is not sustainable. The economic white supremacy system is subversive of democracy. It is not sustainable. All of us as citizens of Barbados have to examine this model and transform it. It has to be transformed in order to fulfill the vision of our ancestors. In Bussel's time, General Busser, General Green, and Clement Payne.
Sir Hilary also had harsh criticism for historian Dr. Carl Watson, who suggested there is no proof General Busser led the 1816 rebellion. Sir Hilary said historical evidence, including newspaper reports and parliamentary papers, highlighted the role of the national hero.
When Dr. Watson says that there's no evidence to show that Busser is the leader, it is the psychosis of white supremacy which is unable to concede the possibility. And there is no amount of historical evidence that would enable him to concede that point. It is impossible to concede, because that is how white supremacy operates. It cannot concede. It will always find a way to denigrate. It cannot concede. But the evidence is here. The black newspapers, the white parliamentary papers, the white judicial system, they're saying the people know who their leader is. We understand, we validate.
Local farmers are being encouraged to capitalize on the indigenous black belly sheep. The advice comes from National Coordinator of the NDP Small Grants Program, David Bino. He said too many products on the island are not exploited. He was speaking during Thursday's launch of the Black Belly Sheep Manual. CEO of the Barbados Agricultural Society, James Paul, said he believed the manual would be of great assistance to farmers.
This book again, this manual, will help to get farmers to be more conscious of their responsibility as farmers in terms of developing that intellectual property and to maintain it, which is the important part, the genetic diversity that I think will have attracted Jeff to the whole program, because the Barbados black belly sheep, it is indigenous to Barbados. It is a unique animal. It has specific traits that we want to highlight. And I really believe that as a result of this, I think that we can see further progress.
Governor General Sir Elliot Belgrave says he intends to visit every primary school in the island before he demits office. Speaking during a visit to St. Mark's Primary on Thursday, he said his visits were a labor of love and he had called on over 50 schools so far. At the Blaze Hill St. Philip's School, the theme was Black is Beautiful, and the children depicted it through song, dance and drama. And they got Sir Elliot's approval. West Indies women cricketer Shaquana Quinton wants to see more female cricketers emerging from her alma mater, Graydon Sealy Secondary. She made the call on Thursday as she was feted like a champion during a special morning assembly. The leg spinner says she wanted at least one girl to join the school's cricket team. It was the second visit for the 20-year-old in as many days. On Wednesday, she visited Wesley Hall Primary and urged students there to follow their dreams. In sport, DirecTV Paradise are out front in the Digicel Premier League. After Thursday night's round of matches at the Wilde AstroTurf, Paradise moved to the top spot with a comfortable 4-1 victory over Lumisol Technology Inc. Pinelands. The boys from Dover raced to a 2-0 lead in the first half, complements a double strike from the league's leading goal scorer Armando Lashley, while Edward Moss and Raheem Lashley completed the scoring. Let's take a look at some of the goals. And finally, animal control officers have captured an apparently domesticated tiger that was spotted roaming a residential neighborhood in a South Texas city. The young female was wearing a collar and a leash and appeared to be tame. The Conroe Police Department said it received several phone calls Thursday from residents who saw the tiger wandering around. Authorities say if the tiger and its owner live in Conroe, the animal will not be allowed to stay following this incident. And that's Nation News for Friday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember to pick up your papers over the weekend or subscribe to our e-paper. And look out for the Weekend Buzz a little later. Thank you so much for joining us.